Do you need to pass all 4 strategic papers left in a single sitting, like SBL, SBR, and let's say APM and AFM? Well, as a tutor with over 11 years of experience and a prize winner myself, I can make you do that. But I would strongly advise against it. And even more, I would strongly advise to think about the order of your exams right early in your ACCA career so that you don't waste your time, because your time is precious. So let's discuss the best order for ACCA exams from my perspective as a tutor, as a prize winner myself, who actually paid great attention to planning exam succession. So first thing that we're going to talk about when we're going to look at the exams, and we're going to limit ourselves only with this very choice because the majority of people get exemptions for their financial accounting, for their management accounting, and so on studies. The first thing that you need to answer is how much knowledge is going to be reused in forthcoming exams. And the key among your exams is going to be the financial reporting exam. Your financial reporting exam is going to be reduced by 100% in your SBR exam. Each and every concept, everything that you learn there. And this means that if you're going to take your FR earlier in your studies and leave SBR for later, you will basically have to study the same thing twice. So these have to be kept short. They have to be close to each other. When we're talking about FR and audit and assurance, ideally your FR should come before that because audit and assurance takes some of the knowledge. But frankly speaking, you can pass audit and assurance without having studied FR before. You just need to brush up on some concepts like, let's say, IS 38 pirate criteria, what is, let's say, a provision, and so on. It's not much. But ideally, we want to take audit and assurance after FR. When we're talking about AAA, AAA is advanced audit and assurance, but it's much more complicated and there is a lot of stuff that is partner job related. So AA is going to feel like kindergarten exam compared to it. And having said that, it is okay that your audit and assurance, which is advanced, is going to be taken, let's say, a few sessions after you passed your AA exam because it is so very more complex and so very different. So having said that, I would put SBR between audit and assurance and advanced audit and assurance if that is your optional exam. When we're talking about the financial management exam and advanced financial management exam, well, on one hand, indeed, we're going to use the language that we study in FM. So we need to remember how basic NPV is going to be calculated in order to calculate advanced NPV. We need to know the basic concepts of valuation in order to calculate advanced valuation. But also there is going to be a lot that is studied on top. And frankly speaking, when we're talking about FM, we need just residual knowledge of concepts because everything is going to be studied anew. And also there is going to be a huge chunk of FM syllabus that is not tested in AFM. That is the part that relates to working capital. So talking about the knowledge of FM that we need for AFM exam, I would say, well, maybe something like 50%, something like that, maybe even 40%. So it is important, but not as much. So the key among your exams are FR and SBR link. Of course, you also have advanced taxation, and advanced taxation is going to be based on your tax exam, but tax exam is taken so early in your studies, so that you are going to forget it before you start ATX anyway, so don't need to bother about that. Many people say, oh, advanced performance management is a succession of PM. Frankly speaking, it's not really, because APM tests your ability to talk, to discuss. It does not really test calculations. Well, you see, the problem that you have in a PM is that there we have lots of calculations. And those calculations, like let's say absorption costing, like let's say variances, they are not really going to be tested in APM. Sometimes we do see a bit of absorption costing, but not so much. And also there are not so many marks. So you don't really need to remember whatever was in PM to go to APM. And yes, we started, let's say, balanced scorecard in PM, but APM looks at it from a completely different perspective. So don't worry about this link either. And also, when we're talking about SBL and APM, these are completely different exams. And despite the fact that we do have some models that are common, like let's say pastel model here, pastel model there, they have nothing to do. The knowledge of SBL will not help you with APM exam. So again, don't worry about these two exams coming close one after the other. The next thing that you need to think about is the complexity. If you were to take 2 exams per session, then PM and FM would be one of the worst mixes. Why? Because with PM, we have so many workflows to study. And the thing that you may have is that you just won't have enough mental capacity to remember whatever is there in the FM exam. So please don't take both exams together. As for AAA and ATX, oh well, this is the question that you might face in the upcoming year, because starting from September 2027, we don't have this problem because we just need one optional paper. But still, it's a poor mix because these are huge exams. So please don't. Talking about aligning AAA and SBR together. Well, I would not really recommend it because SBR is a huge exam and SBR requires you to spend 3 months to study it. It's a lot in there. So it's better to take SBR alone. When we're talking about combining AAA with something, it would better go with SBL, maybe, but not with SBR. And as for audit and assurance and financial reporting, they can be combined with either PM or FM exam easily because they test different perspective of your education. So they are not really about numbers, they are more about memory test, and they more about discursive questions. And I would remind you that if you have one of the skills level untackled, like let's say you have FM left, you can also take one of the strategic papers together with that. So you can take FM and SBL, for example. Or even more, you can take financial reporting exam and SBR exam, but they're going to be seated on the same day. So you can do that and benefit from starting SBR syllabus and reusing it in FR and just studying a little bit about trial balance. Only if you know that there will be windows early in the morning like 9 o'clock and late in the evening like 3 o'clock, which does not happen for many locations. But I have had clients that would take, let's say, FM and IFM exam, and they would take it within a single day. So final conclusion. If I were to start with the PM, I would go like that. I would start with PM. Of course, it's going to be madness. PM is one of the worst exams, and it's the keen amount of retakes. And if I could, I would hire a tutor for that, for them to set the technique for me. And I would study it alone, I would not combine it with anything else. After the PM, I would take FM. And if I failed PM exam, I can take both of them together because PM is on Wednesday, FM is on Friday on a normal exam sitting. And as such, it would be manageable for me to resit PM if I started studying for FM early. If I have passed PM, I would combine FM and FR if I want to pass them faster. Or if I am okay with taking one exam per session, I would pass FM exam and then I would move to FR exam. After that, I would move to AA exam. And again, if I would need to combine it with something, well, SBR is better to be started for 3 months, but AI is not too heavy, so I could combine them. SBR, then SBL, and then one of the optional exams, and one of the optional exams could be combined with SBL. If you had 9 exemptions, you need to acknowledge that your knowledge is far more inferior compared to those who actually took these papers and passed them. So in this case, please make sure that you get a tutor for SBR exam, because you are going to attempt your exam in the wrong way and you are going to lose lots of marks, and most likely you are going to fail. And if you want to pass SBR with me, you can do that, because I have course with different options, more affordable, the option that gives you more of me, and as such improves the chances of you passing with a shorter time spent. So feel welcome to text me to enroll to my course. And also, I would remind you that I'm holding a webinar on time management in ACCA exams on Monday, June the 8th at 6:30 p.m. UK time. And I will tell you about the science-backed approach to time management. And it won't be just those silly advice that you can generate from ChatGPT. No, we are going to look at how human brain works and how to help you read faster, attempt your marks faster, and as such succeed with higher probability. Thank you for listening to this very episode of my SBR Made Easy podcast. I hope it was helpful to you, and I will see you on your time management in ACCA exams webinar, and also I hope to see you for my SBR course. So enroll. Bye.